everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome to a new vlog. It is Thursday, kind of late afternoon, early evening. It's about 4:30 and I'm going to be totally transparent and say that I meant to do a kind of week-long vlog this week and I just had a very stressful beginning of the week. So instead we're going to do kind of a long weekend vlog. Like I said, it's Thursday, so I'll be vlogging tonight and tomorrow and Saturday and Sunday, and then you'll be able to see it next week. But yeah, stressful beginning of the week, but gonna have a really nice end of the week, so that's fine. I kind of see this as being more of a reading slash studio vlog, because those are that pretty much sums up my plans for this weekend. You can probably see I'm in my house coat, so it's very cold in Scotland. We had a little bit of nice weather for a couple weeks there and it's just gone totally cold again. We've got snow in the forecast, we've got rain in the forecast, so yeah, it's going to be a cold weekend. So the plan is to read and to do some work in the studio and maybe some housework as well, because Lewis and I are starting the redecoration process of our living room. So I might work on that as well this weekend. We'll just see how things go. But I thought I would share with you some of the books. 2 books I'm currently reading and 2 books I might start this weekend. We'll see how things go. But I thought I'd share with you those first. So the first book I am over halfway through. I have about 130 pages left, and that's The House of Mirth by Edith Wharton. I'm really enjoying this. It's taking me a little bit of time to read it, and I don't know why, but I'm just naturally reading it slower than I would other books, which is fine. But I'm really enjoying it. In this novel, we follow Miss Lily Bart, and she is kind of a girl in society. She doesn't come from a lot of money, and in the novel itself she really doesn't have a lot of money, but she has made her way up in social circles. The only problem is that Lily in the novel is about 28 or 29, and this is very early 20th century New York that this takes place in. So she's kind of past her prime, and throughout the book she gets faced with a lot of kind of rumors about her. She gets into some very sticky situations and she faces a lot of financial trouble, which ends up becoming a problem with her amongst her friends and society in New York kind of as a whole. So this book is a really good look at the struggles of women in the early 20th century America, but I guess really for most women in general, particularly when it comes to like marriage and class and finances. But it's also a very harsh at points critique of the kind of high society of the upper classes. Not that I think that it's undue critique, it's just at some points she, Wharton cuts with her words. Her words are like knives. But yeah, I am enjoying this. It's just taking me a wee bit longer. I would say I would like to be finished this. I only have 130 pages left. So I would like to be finished this by the end of the week. So Sunday. That's the hope. And the next book I've only just started. So yeah, I think I've read the introduction and the first little essay, I think is what you would call it. So that is Spring, an anthology for the changing seasons. There's one of these for every single season. So we're in spring, so I got the spring one. I am planning on getting the other 3, but for now we're just dealing with the spring one. This is edited by Melissa Harrison, and it's just a collection of prose and poetry and essays and extracts from longer works all about spring, and it's just lovely. Like I said, I've only read the introduction and the first essay, but so far it has been lovely, and it's beautiful too, so that helps. And then I have 2 books that I'm hoping to start this weekend, maybe? We'll see, it'll depend especially on if I finish House of Mirth. But one, I have the physical copy, but I will probably be flipping between the physical copy and the audiobook for this one because it's a big book. And that is The Fires of Heaven by Robert Jordon. This is book 5. Yep, book 5 in the Wheel of Time series. I am reading this along with my friend Petra, who I will link down below because she's wonderful. And we are reading all the books together. So Wheel of Time has 14 books and a prequel. Apparently you can read the prequel after you've read the first 5 books, but I'm going to leave it till the end. I don't know what Petra's plan is for the prequel, but I'm probably just going to read it after I'm done the original series because the prequel was written sometime after the original series. I'm enjoying Wheel of Time. I do think that it's a series, and I don't know that I'll do this, but I do think that it's a series that probably warrants rereading. Robert Jordon deals with a lot in these books. Obviously, it's a high fantasy series, so it's out of my normal reading anyway. And the reason I'm reading the Wheel of Time books is because it was my dad's favorite series, or at least one of them. And they were the books that he was reading as he was passing away. My dad had cancer. It was quite a long and drawn out passing. So as the cancer was progressing, these were the books he turned to. And my dad was a big reader. He's where I get my kind of reading habits from. We have totally different tastes, but he's where I get my habits from. And he always turned to books for comfort and relaxation. And I think when someone passes early, certainly for me, there's always things that I wish I could ask them, and I don't know, there's never enough time, there's never enough questions, there's never enough conversations. And I thought maybe to better understand my dad and what brought him comfort and what made him happy, I would read these books. And I was telling Petra about it. This was over a year ago. And she asked if she could do it with me, and I thought that was a great idea. So we are reading them together. We will be reading The Fires of Heaven for at least March. I'm a really slow audiobook listener, and this book is just over 38 hours. So I am going to read some of it in the physical form, but it's just under 900 pages. And they're big books, so it most likely will take me more than a month, but I would like to start it. And lastly, I have a really fun book. Well, I think it's fun. But that's Women's Weird, Strange Stories by Women 1890 to 1940. So this is a short story collection. This is printed by Handheld Press, who are an independent press based down south in England. I've actually already read a book that's been published by Handheld Press. I read it just this week, and it was Business as Usual. I can't remember the 2 authors. It's Jane something and Anne something, and that's really gonna bother me. Yeah, I read Business as Usual, which is an epistolary novel about a girl who, while she's engaged to this man, but they have to wait to get married because he's got quite a lot of career things going on, she decides to go to London to get a job in the year. And it's about her working in a department store in London. It's amazing. If you've ever worked any kind of retail or customer service, it's just a beautiful portrayal. I've worked a lot of retail jobs, but I've worked department store retail before, and it was just such a beautiful, hilarious depiction of working in that environment. And it's wonderful. It's got like little sketches that are original from the authors, and anyway, it's just been reprinted by Handheld Press. I read it in less than 24 hours because I couldn't put it down. It was so good. So I'm really excited to get to Women's Weird, which, like I said, is a short story collection about strange stories by women. The other reason I want to read this is that this is the March pick for the Handheld Press book club, which I am going to try out. I used to belong to a book club at the church that I went to in Edinburgh, and I'm not participating in it as much anymore. But I'd really like to try out another one, and since Handheld Press are an independent press and I've been really enjoying their stuff, I thought this might be good. They usually also get some cool guests, sometimes some authors or editors involved, so I thought it would be good, and this is one that I can pick up throughout the month. So that's the other book that I'm hoping to start, even if I just read like one story. And then other than that, this weekend, like I said, no set plans. I've got a lot of projects on the go at the moment, a lot of projects. So some projects I can't show you because they're for the shop, and a lot of them are still in the like test phase. And also I just don't want to give like too much away of what's coming for the shop. I don't know when I'm restocking. I do still have a few things left. I think I've got like 3 things left. But there is going to be a restock. I would like to say in the next couple months. I don't have a set date because I am a one-woman show and I make everything by hand. So yeah, I don't know when it's going to be, but it will be before the summer for sure, because some of the stuff I particularly want to be in the shop for summer in particular. So yeah, I'll be working on some stuff for the shop, which I can't show you, but I've also got some personal projects going on. I have to finish a sewing project for the house. I've got a table runner that I made for a chest of drawers that Lewis and I got a couple weeks ago for our bedroom. It's an antique chest of drawers, and I had this really beautiful fabric, so I made cushions and a matching table runner, but I've only just cut out the pieces for the table runner. I haven't finished it yet, so I would like to do that. And there is one thing that I'm working on that's for the shop that I will tell you or show you because you might be interested, a little sneak peek. And that's a crochet project. And then I think I either want to do some cross stitching, or I might make, I don't have any project bags, like knitting and cross stitch project bags, so I might try and quickly make myself one over the weekend. And what else do I have going on? I might start a knitting project. I also, this past week, did start a painting. It's just in my sketchbook, and I might, if I feel the inclination, I will work on that. But if I don't, then I won't, and I'll just stick to kind of fabric and fiber crafting this weekend. But I think that's it. Oh yeah, and then the wallpaper. So like I said, Lewis and I are starting to redecorate our living room. So we've decided on a paint color, but we have to prep the room. There are 3 sections of wall. I don't know, but there are 3 sections of wall that have wallpaper on it. So I have to take that off. It's this really kind of horrible, foamy textured wallpaper. It's not nice. So yeah, I might take that off. The only thing is if I do that, it'll take up like at least a day. But I've got 3 days, so hopefully that'll be okay. I might do that tomorrow, you never know. And other than that, just gonna relax, watch some stuff. I've got a huge watch later list on YouTube and a few shows that I've been meaning to watch and catch up on. If the weather brightens, it's not supposed to, but if it does, I will head out into the garden to prep some seedlings for sowing. So I have sweet peas that I want to sow, and some basil, and I might do tomatoes as well, I'm not sure. But certainly the sweet peas I'd like to sow if the weather brightens up over the weekend. We shall see. There's so many options to do this weekend, so I thought I would bring you along with me. So I think now I'm gonna go and crochet because I got some more yarn in the mail. Excuse the mess that is my studio, by the way. There's just a lot going on in here. Lewis and I also have a puzzle that we haven't been working on that's on the floor, so I need to finish that so that I can take it off the floor. But yeah, excuse the mess. I think now I'm gonna go away and do some crocheting, maybe, and watch something. I don't know. Maybe some booktube, maybe some floss tube, maybe a show. We'll just have to see. Wow, I am looking a state today. Wow, ouch. Oh well. Hi guys, good morning, I want to say. I think it's still morning. Yeah, it's 11:15, it's still morning. Good morning, it is Friday now. I'm back with you in more of my comfortable clothes in my very disheveled living room, so you'll have to excuse the moving boxes and the furniture and all of that stuff. I am going to be, well, one, it's still freezing here. It's still freezing cold, so I'm in just like my cozy clothes and trying to keep warm. And two, I'm going to be focusing today on removing the wallpaper. I don't know if I'll be able to get all the walls that have wallpaper on them because it's not the whole room. I don't know if I'll be able to get them all done, but I would like to get the biggest wall, a majority done, if I can. That is the aim today. So I've scored it because it's like a foamy wallpaper. It's really bad. So it's like a foamy texture, so I've scored it and I've sprayed it with a mixture of water and dishwash soap, and it's just drying. I just have to leave it for like 5 minutes. And I thought, while I was waiting for that to soak, I would update you with a little bit of a reading update because I finished The House of Mirth this morning. I'm really, really happy to say that I finished this morning. I only read about 30 pages last night because I was exhausted. So I fell asleep at like 8:30 last night. So I got up at 6:30 or 6 this morning. And I read the last 100 pages of this book. That includes the essay at the end, which is called Obligations and is written by Hermione Lee. And it was really good. I really enjoyed this. It's not an all-out favorite. I remembered this morning as well that I have read an Edith Wharton before. I read Ethan Frome, not Edith. Edith Wharton. I read Ethan Frome last year, and I loved that. I thought that was perfect. I really liked The House of Mirth, and I still want to pick up more Edith Wharton. The only issue I had is I found it a little bit slumpy, a little bit boring in the middle. I had a stretch in the middle where I was kind of like, okay, like, let's move on. And I think that's part of why it took me a little bit longer to read, is it didn't completely hold my attention the whole time. And I was kind of wandering on thoughts of other books I could pick up. So I ended up giving it a 4 stars. And I'm still toying between a 4 and a 4.5 because I did really enjoy it. But that was one thing where I was just kind of bored throughout the middle. So yeah, it couldn't really be a 5-star for me, but it was really good. And the ending is so sad. It's so... yeah, I could kind of see the ending coming at a certain point in the last 100 pages, and I was like, oh no. And then Edith Wharton does this beautiful thing, and I'm not going to give anything away, but she does this thing where there's a point towards the end where you think, oh no, it's not going to be like that, it's going to be okay, things are going to turn out okay. And it doesn't. It really doesn't. And it's a little bit heartbreaking, but it was really good, and yeah, I super enjoyed that one. So I don't have it with me, but I did start reading that spring anthology yesterday. I think I've only read, I'm not any further in it. I told you I had only read the first like essay at the beginning. That is still true, but I'm hoping to read a little bit more later today. Although I don't know how much reading I'll get done. I have to do the wallpaper as much as I can anyway. And then, depending on how long that takes, that might take the rest of the day. I've also got some deliveries coming today. I'm not 100% sure what they are, but those will be coming at some point today. And tonight, it's Friday. I think I've talked about this before, but Lewis and I do a movie night on Friday night, so it's Lewis's choice. So we have that as well. So I don't know if I'm going to be putting time aside for reading, especially the wallpaper can be a little bit exhausting, so I might just feel like watching something and crocheting later on. So I'll just see how I feel. But yeah, it's been a good morning. Like I said, got up early, finished a book, made breakfast, may have put in a cheeky little yarn order. So speaking of that, actually, while I'm here, I've had an idea for some, I was gonna say I've had an idea. It's not my idea, it's something that I like to watch on YouTube, and I've been toying with the idea of making these types of videos, and I think I might just do it and see how it goes, and if I like it then I'll post it, and if I don't then I won't. It's, you know, no harm, no foul. But I really like floss tube videos and like the knitting podcast videos, and I do, as you guys know, I do crochet, and I'm a beginner knitter and I do cross stitch as well. So I was thinking of doing a knitting and floss tube podcast type video. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet. But I don't know if I'm going to call it anything. It might just be the Knitting and Floss Tube podcast. But I was thinking of doing those maybe once a week or once a fortnight. Probably start off with once a fortnight just in case. And it won't take away from any of the videos that I'll already have up. So I'll probably put out like a kind of bookish or I don't know, other kind of crafty video on a Monday like I do now. And I'll still put out a vlog, but on the weeks that I do the podcast, I would then have videos Monday, Wednesday, Friday instead of just Monday and Thursday, which is what I'm doing right now. So let me know what you guys think, if you'd be interested in seeing like what I'm making and talking about yarn and crafts, and it's going to be more interesting than that, I promise. but because there's just stuff that I love to do. So like I said, I might film one over the next week and see how I like it, and if I like it I'll put it up and see what you guys think. If I don't like it then I won't. But I'd still love to hear your thoughts on it, because by the time you see this vlog I will have probably filmed it, but it won't have gone up yet. So I'd really like to hear your thoughts in a nice way. But you guys are always really nice, so I don't really have to worry about that too much. So yeah, I think the 5 minutes has passed. So I am going to try and get this wallpaper off, and I might do a little time lapse as well. Good afternoon, everyone. It is Sunday. Made a bit of a time jump. I didn't vlog yesterday, mainly because I didn't really do anything worth vlogging. I stayed in bed watching YouTube videos until about 11, and then I went and what did I do? Oh, I went to Tesco because I was craving nachos. So I went and got stuff for nachos. And then I came home and I made the nachos and I ate the nachos. They were lovely. And then I spent 4 hours taking wallpaper off the wall. And then I fell asleep. So, yeah, not anything to report. But I have a reading update for you. I have a little shop sneak peek, I guess, for you. A little shop talk. But before we do any of that, I thought we would read a poem together. I've got this, sorry about the glare, a poem for every day in spring. I thought we might read one of the poems together. So this is by, and I might pronounce this wrong, but this is by Roger McGough, possibly. It's called The Sound Collector, so I'll read it to you. A stranger called this morning, dressed all in black and grey, put every sound into a bag and carried them away. The whistling of the kettle, the turning of the lock, the purring of the kitten, the ticking of the clock, the popping of the toaster, the crunching of the flakes, when you spread the marmalade, the scraping noise it makes, the hissing of the frying pan, the ticking of the grill, the bubbling of the bathtub as it starts to fill. The drumming of the raindrops on the window pane when you do the washing up, the gurgle of the drain. The crying of the baby, the squeaking of the chair, the swishing of the curtain, the creaking of the stair. A stranger called this morning, he didn't leave his name, left us only silence, life will never be the same. But I thought that was quite good. This book gives you a poem for every morning and evening on every day throughout spring, so I enjoyed that. I thought you might too. Oh, actually, I should probably put it on the next day. But that was the poem for the evening. The morning one was really good, but it was sad. So I thought I would read you the other one instead. I finished a book this morning. How exciting is that? I've finished 3 books this week. Obviously, I finished The House of Mirth. Very exciting. And then this morning, I finished, speaking of spring, Spring, an Anthology for the Changing Seasons, which is edited by Melissa Harrison. I ended up giving this 3 stars. I'm a little disappointed. I think it has more to do with me than the book, I'll be honest. I thought this was going to be something different than what it turned out to be. I thought, and the way that I have heard it being talked about, is that this was like poems, extracts of books, prose, and a few essays about spring. And I assumed that was it was going to be a real mix of those things, and it was going to be from all different time periods and all different types of writers and books and stuff. And I wasn't wrong per se, but that's not really what it is. There are some poems, there are some extracts from prose and novels that you would recognize, but a good 50, if not 60 to 70% of the book are essays, one-off written for this anthology by writers. And that's not a bad thing, but my problem with that is that not only are they, I guess my main problem with it is that they were all written the year this book was published. So like most of this book was written by different people in the year 2016, and that's cool. But the other thing is that it's a very like narrow look at spring and nature, and to do it in 1 year is maybe not the best idea, because a lot of the essays were a little repetitive. I mean, this is definitely from a British point of view. These are pretty much, from what I can gather, all UK-based writers writing about spring in the UK in essentially the same year. So the UK obviously is made up of different country. The UK is obviously made up of different countries, but the landscape's not that different, and a lot of these are based down south. So a lot of the observations of spring and nature and what have you are the same. And then they'll throw in like a poem. And the other thing is that there's one work that works. What am I trying to say? There is one larger piece of work that bits are taken and thrown in throughout the book, and it's like not, to me it's not necessary, because especially if you're going to look at UK based writing, like there's nothing a British person, and I mean British, not English, British, so Wales, Northern Ireland, Scotland, England, a British person, there's nothing they love to talk about more than the weather. Like nothing. So you are not short in, English or British novels and writings and poems and what have you. You are not short of things to pick from when it comes to nature writing, especially in spring. It's one of the most inspiring things, arguably, for most writers, especially in history. And to me, it felt like for this to be definitely over half essays on spring from one year was a little bit disappointing, because you could just pick from so much. There's so much out there, and just to throw in like a poem here or like an extract there, and then to pick 3 different extracts from one work, and this book is under 200 pages, I just it wasn't as varied as I thought it should be. And yeah, having nature writing from the same year, a lot of the writers are seeing the same animals and observing the same things, so it was a bit repetitive. That being said, I didn't hate it. It just wasn't really what I was expecting. However, I did like that feeling of spring writing and the imagery of it, and I'll probably pick up the other 3, especially now that I kind of know what I'm getting into, because my expectations were clearly way off, and that was part of the problem. It was the main problem, really. So yeah, it's good, but it wasn't really what I was expecting. It's a little bit disappointing. However, I'm still going to pick up the other ones because I love myself a seasonal read. So that one's done. Actually, I should put that over there. Another reading update I'm pretty sure I didn't mention when I talked to you on Saturday, because I very briefly talked to you on Saturday. I spent so much time taking off wallpaper, or not Saturday, Friday. I spent so much time taking off wallpaper on Friday and Saturday. My back hurts so bad. I'm not even done. I finished like one wall, granted the biggest wall, but I only finished one wall. So that's interesting. But when I talked to you on Friday, I don't think I mentioned I was going to start listening to my audiobook while I was removing wallpaper. Now, I didn't listen to it yesterday because there were some podcast episodes I wanted to get through, but I did listen to 2.5 hours of The Fires of Heaven on Friday. So thumbs up. Now, that is a very small dent. Let's see. I have 26 hours and 6 minutes left. So, and the other thing is that I don't, wait, it's giving me 2 different times. Oh, right, so I have 33 hours and 56 minutes left, but I have 26 hours and 6 minutes left based on the speed that I listen to. And I was just going to say, I don't listen to audiobooks very quickly. I like to actually understand what people are saying. And I'm not in competition with anybody. I don't know if maybe I'm the only one who can't listen to their books at like 2 times speed, but it sounds like I'm not right in the head when I try and listen to books like that, and I can't keep track of everything. And I might move it up or down a little bit while I'm listening to it as I get more used to it, but I'm a slow audiobook reader. It's fine. It's cool. It's, it is what it is. But I did listen to 2.5 hours, so I've made a small dent in the book. I think I'm on chapter 2, because the prologue was like 1.5 hours. And, which is normal for Robert Jordon. His prologues are always super long. Right, so the prologue was an hour. The first chapter was an hour and a half. So I'm just at the beginning of the second chapter, which is about an hour long. So yeah, a long way to go, but I did start and I made a dent, and that's cool. And like I said, I've got lots of wallpaper removal to do over the next little while. And then we actually have to paint the room, and I'm going to be taking this wallpaper down and painting this room when I'm done with the living room. So over the next month, hopefully, should get a good chunk done, which is cool. So those are my reading updates. I don't know if I'm going to do a whole lot of reading for the rest of the day. I don't want to tell you guys what I'm picking up next, because I'm going to be filming it in, well, next week's vlogs for you guys. It starts tomorrow for me. But this is going to be a studio vlog too, and I've got some cool studio stuff, shop stuff, that I wanted to tell you about. I'm so happy because last night I was watching a documentary, crocheting some stuff for the shop, and I got an email that I got an order through the shop. And guys, I cannot tell you what it means to a small business owner, to an independent business owner, to someone literally working out of the spare bedroom of their house, to have you buy stuff. I don't know if the person who bought my stuff knows who I am or watches my channel or anything like that. I have no idea. But she bought a couple things from the shop. She bought a fabric bundle, because I do bundle up fabric for whatever you would like to use them for. I just do fabric bundles in like themes, and she bought a scrunchie. And I'm just, oh, I'm so happy. So I'm gonna wrap these up and send these off. Thank you so much if you do watch my channel for ordering from my shop. I don't have a lot in the shop right now. I'm sold out of most things, which is insane. And I can't thank you guys enough because that's so cool. I didn't start with very much in the shop to begin with, because I only opened the shop in like November or October or something. And yeah, we moved over the holidays and stuff, and we were house hunting, like we started house hunting pretty much right after I opened the shop. So I didn't have a whole lot of opportunity to make new stuff. So there will be a shop update coming in the next couple months. But for anybody who's ordered anything through my shop or supported me or just encouraged me in any way, like, thank you so much. Oh, it means the world to me. I read this thing on Instagram a few months ago, I think, that said like every time you order from an indie shop or a small business, someone does a happy dance, or like the owner of that shop does a happy dance. And literally when I got the email last night, I went to Lewis in his office and was like doing a happy dance. It was like, someone made an order. I was so excited. It's just the coolest thing. It really is, to have something that I've made or that I've put together, and to have someone like want it and want to use it and put it in their home. And oh, I'm just, it's a thrilling experience. And I am not someone who loves retail. I think I've talked about this, worked many retail jobs, did not enjoy it. But these are things that I'm making and I'm putting like my heart and soul into, and you guys are wanting them in your house. That's nuts. And you want to use them, and you want to, oh, that's nuts to me. That is nuts. So thank you so much. I will be packaging these up and posting those off today. For anybody who might be wondering as well, in my last meeting with Lewis, we talked extensively about our packaging. We are working towards completely recyclable packaging. So today, actually, because we don't have any packaging things in the house, because we haven't ordered any since we moved here, because I haven't done a shop update, and the shop was actually closed over the holidays as well. But now that shop's open again, I did order cardboard boxes and recyclable, eco-friendly tape. So that will be, and I'll be wrapping my parcels in tissue, and I use twine to kind of wrap it up, and I try and put some pretty things in there, but everything will be recyclable or reusable in some way, or decorative. So if I put dried flowers in there or something, you'll be able to use it in that way. So just so you guys know, we are slowly trying to phase out anything that's plastic or non-recyclable or non-reusable in any way that we can. So that was the first thing. that I wanted to mention. And now I want to give you a little sneak peek of something. So these are, I'm just working on these. So they're not completely done yet, but I thought I'd give you a sneak peek of something I've been working on for the shop. I decided not that long ago that I wanted to relearn how to crochet, and I'm slowly getting there. But one of the ways I'm learning is by making dishcloths. And I've made a couple for Lewis and I, my first tries. They turn out okay, but they're not perfect. And I mean, nothing is, but they turned out pretty well, and I like them, and I think that you guys might like them. So I thought I would show you one of the recent ones I've made. I'm going to be making, I think 5 is what Lewis and I decided on. 5 plain white ones. They're kind of like an off-white. And then I'll be making 5 white with a green stripe and 5 white with a blue, well, maybe not 5 with the blue stripe. I'll have to see how much blue I have, because I only have this small thing of blue, but I have a very large cone of the green. So I might make slightly more green ones depending on how much blue I have, but I am hoping for 5 of each just to see how they sell. But I thought I'd show you. So these are, and excuse, the ends have not been sewn in yet. So the ends are still flying about. They're just right off the needles, so they've not been ironed yet or blocked, and the ends are still all wiggledy-piggledy. But these are the dishcloths. They're like a farmhouse style. Wow, that's blowing me out. They're like a farmhouse style dishcloth. They're in a square, and they've got, let's see if this will show, they've got a really nice texture to them. I love them personally, but you know, I'm biased because I made it, so I'm biased. But I really like these, and I thought it would be nice if I did this, but then like this line in green or in blue. Well, I'm going to do one with green, one with blue. And yeah, I love these. They're not going to be massively expensive. I think they're going to be about £4 or £5. And I'm really excited to get these in the shop. I like to make them while I'm just hanging out with Lewis, watching TV, watching a movie. It's a very relaxing thing for me to do, so it's meditative for me, and hopefully you guys really like them. I love them, and obviously you don't have to use them as dishcloths, but that's what they're called. That's the pattern that I used calls them, and they are really good for dishcloths. Like Lewis and I will be using ours for dishcloths. They're also 100% cotton, so you can just throw them in the wash. I would put them on a delicate wash just because they are handmade. So there's, you know, that's the ups and downs of having things handmade, is that you have to be careful with, a little bit careful of like how you handle them, especially when it comes to washing, because they're a little bit more delicate than something that's been made by a machine and has been, you know, finished by a machine. But we've been using ours, and we've been throwing it in the wash, and everything's been absolutely fine. They should last quite a while, and yeah, we've been really enjoying ours, and they're so nice. They're so lovely, and hopefully in the future we'll have some with like different patterns as well. But I'm just starting with these ones, and I wanted to give you guys, like I said, these ends are going to be sewn in, so you won't have the ends hanging off. But yeah, I've loved making them, and we're going to make them with some colors as well, some colors of the shop, so looking forward to that. And I thought I would share with you that little sneak peek. We do have quite a few fun things in the plans for the shop, but we're at the beginning stages of most of them, so working on things. There are, I can tell you without giving away too much information, there are going to be cushion covers coming to the shop. There is going to be some bookish stuff coming to the shop. Very excited about that. Nervous, because one of the things in particular that I'm really hoping works out is still in the testing rounds. So yeah, we'll have to see how that turns out. But We've got some bookish stuff coming, and then more homeware, because you guys know that's my thing. I love homeware in particular, but I will also be testing out some beauty things. I'm not going to tell you what. If you heard that crash, that was Lewis in the kitchen. I believe he's doing dishes. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you what. Once again, I'm still testing things out, but there might be some beauty things coming. And hopefully some crafty things too, but that's a little bit different. So yes, that is a little bit of a shop talk. Like I said, if you have supported me in any way, emotionally, practically, financially, what have you, thank you so much. It's a literal blast getting to be able to do this and expanding on other creative ideas that I have for the shop. There's so many things Lewis and I have thought of that we are in the process of trying to make work and finding out ways that we can do them, and it's just so exciting. And then I think the last thing I really wanted to talk about, I've already kind of mentioned briefly, and that was doing kind of an episodes of like a crafty podcast, whether that be a knitting podcast or a floss tube or both, which some people already do on YouTube. That's already a thing. We have booktube, they have floss tube. Knitting is not knit tube, although it could be, but it's knitting podcasts, but they're video podcasts so that you can actually see. And yeah, I really want to hear what you guys think. It's exciting. I've gotten some stuff in the mail and I want to show you, but I feel like if I'm going to test out that video, I'm going to leave that as part of it. But I've gotten some crafty stuff in the mail, and it's really fun. The one thing I would like your comments on, your opinions on, is if I were to make these videos, would you want it more of like a traditional kind of floss tube / knitting podcast, or would you want it to be like the word that keeps coming into my head is like a craft tube? So not only do I talk about cross stitch and knitting and crocheting, but I can also talk you through some of the other kind of crafty hobbies I have going on or things I'm making for the house. So for instance, I've been working on a painting over the last kind of week or so, on and off. I'm just looking at it now. So I could talk you through some of the paintings I'm working on. I sometimes work on miniatures. I don't know if that's strange, but you can get like miniature kits, and I want to eventually like build my own dollhouse. That's the dream. But I'm practicing on these like miniature kits that you get online, and I'm really enjoying that, and I'd love to talk to you guys about that stuff, but I don't know if I should just like slide it into a vlog and make like a dedicated podcast or YouTube video about it, or if you guys are just like kind of want to see sliding images in the vlogs and then don't want to hear about it again, and like all you care about is the shop stuff. Which is fine, that's totally cool. I'd love to hear what you have to say. I think I'm going to try and film one this coming week, which by the time this video goes up I will have already filmed it, but I wouldn't have posted it yet. So I might try and film one this coming week and see how I like it, and then see what you guys, how you respond to this video. Comments, please, please, please comment down below, and then go from there, and see how I like it. I mean, it could be one of those things that you guys are like, we're not interested at all, but I actually really enjoy the process. And a big part of keeping up with YouTube for me is making sure that I'm enjoying the process. So I might try and just post it and see how it does anyway, but we'll see. I still want to hear what you guys have to think, because I'm undecided. And I've never done it before, so it's a little nerve-wracking. But you guys, I mean, I know there's tons of booktubers that talk about other stuff on here. Jean does great videos on sustainable fashion, which I love, and she sometimes talks about beauty stuff as well, which is great. And yeah, I mean, there's loads of YouTubers who do like travel vlogs and stuff like that, which hopefully I'll be able to do one day. Again, some more Scotland vlogs, but yeah, I would also like to do more kind of crafty focused vlogs, and the goal, not the guarantee, the goal would be to have like a bookish video on Monday, maybe like a crafty video on Wednesday, and then like my vlogs on Fridays. So you would get 3 videos a week, which might be a bit much, and I'm not telling my husband that I said that because he already thinks I work too hard. But that would be the goal. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But I think now I'm gonna prep this order. I'm gonna do some organizing because the studio is a mess. It's so messy. My desk, you can't see it, but it's an absolute disaster. It's not nice. So I think I'm going to clean up a little bit while I put on some YouTube. I've got a horribly huge watch later list. Huge. So I think I'm going to put on some YouTube, do some cleaning, maybe crochet some stuff, maybe paint. I don't really know what I'm in the mood for, to be totally honest with you. It's one of those weird Sundays. Sunday in our house is like a rest day usually, although we're both quite busy today. But usually Sunday is like our recharge day. It's something that I did as a kid. I don't know about you guys, if anybody else did this, but in my house, my parents always treated Sunday as like a very chill lounge day. I think if we ever went out on Sundays, and we did go out, but usually like the only thing we would go out and do on a Sunday is we would go to the bookstore, and then we'd come home and we'd get back into like our pajamas or like really comfy clothes, and we'd sit in bed and like snack and read our books and watch movies, and like it was our total lounge rest day, and it was so much fun. And Lewis and I pretty much do that as well. But we had a very chill day yesterday. Well, Lewis had a very chill day yesterday. I spent 4 hours stripping wallpaper. But yesterday was fairly chill. So we are trying to get some stuff done today, but I don't want to get too intense. So I think I'll plan out some of my week. I'll do a little bit of cleaning and a little bit of crocheting, and I will just see where we go from there. Hello guys, it's actually the next day, it's Monday, and I'm just popping on to end off the vlog. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this. I think it's a fairly low-key vlog, but I actually really enjoy making it, so I hope it was good to watch as well. I'm super pleased that I got to finish 2 books this weekend. I was really happy about that. 3 books last week, but 2 books over the weekend, which was really great. And I also managed to show you guys some of the things that I've been working on, which is great. So remember to, in the comments down below, let me know what you think about some of the creative content ideas I have going forward. I'd also love to know what you guys were reading this weekend or are planning to read this coming weekend. And I'll see you in my next video on Monday. Bye guys.